Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into the world of 3D modeling in Blender, and I'm going to show you how to create a cube of glass that shatters on impact. So let's get started. First things first, let's set up our scene. Open Blender and delete the default cube. We'll start by adding a plane to serve as our ground. Go to Add, Mesh, Plane. Scale it up a bit so we have a nice surface for our glass to shatter on. Next, let's create our glass object. Go to Add, Mesh, Cube. This will be our glass piece. Scale it down to your desired size. Remember, the more detailed your glass, the more realistic the shatter effect will be. Now let's make it look like glass. Select your cube, go to the shader editor. Now this might look complicated, but trust me, it's not. Select the principled BSDF and delete it. Now press Shift-A and search for glass BSDF. Now plug the BSDF into the material output surface. Make the color a slight blue. This will give it that glassy look. Don't worry if your cube is still gray. You need to switch to the viewport shading mode and switch the rendering engine from Eevee to Cycles. To create the shattering effect, we'll use the Cell Fracture add-on. If you haven't enabled it yet, go to Edit Preferences Add-ons and search for Cell Fracture. Check the box to enable it. Now go into the edit mode by pressing Tab. Right-click on your cube and click Subdivide. Under the Subdivide menu that popped up, increase the number of cuts to about 20. You can now go back to the object mode. With your glass cube selected, go to Object, Quick Effects, Cell Fracture. In the settings, adjust the source limit to control how many pieces you want your glass to shatter into. Once you've set your desired source limit, click OK. Blender will create a new object with all the fractured pieces of your glass. You can see them in the outliner. Now let's animate the shattering effect. With the glass pieces selected, go click on the Object menu, hover over Rigid Body, and click Add Active. This will allow them to react to forces in the scene. Next, we need to add a passive rigid body to the plane. Select it, and go to the Physics tab. Now, click on Rigid Body, and set it from active to passive. Finally, let's add some finishing touches. You can add a camera and set up your lighting to enhance the scene. Experiment with different angles and lighting setups to make your glass look even more realistic. Now, set your output settings and output file format and hit Render Animation. I've made an in-depth tutorial on how to render animations in Blender, so check it out if you haven't yet. Here is the final render. And there you have it. You've successfully created a shattering glass effect in Blender. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more Blender tips, and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and happy blending.